you properties of water. First one, the water is excellent solvent as a result. Simple organic compounds formed yet could be easy to dissolve in water. After that, the Urey Miller experiment, the biochemical experiment is there. The biochemical experiment, he will be explain how to form the first amino acids. Amino acid a particular time will be the cathode anode reaction should be changed in to protein content. The protein contents a particular period changed to a first living organ for the amoeba. The content, that the proteins and nucleic acids assume a three-dimensional appearance in the water. The lipids from the bilayer in water, which forms the framework of all biomembranes. Complex compounds and other linking their monomers by loss of the water molecules. Water also helps in dissociation of the complex compounds. First water liquid in range temperature between 4 degree to 19 degree. But nowadays, you know that very well hot about the 40 degree. We all are that the very hot. The temperature will be very hot. We are feeling the Chennai and another north area also. But yearly period 4 degree to 90 degree is average. Life also exists within a same temperature range, being the disturbable water in the some medium and biochemical changes. After that, a period should be changed to the unicellular animal changed in the multicellular range. So that type of the animal should be in specially separate to the changes will be everything at suit a numerical and geographical location will be at last to changes and eon wise to the different periods. How we are identify the geological time period means that the fossils data, the animals, the dinosaurs, Jurassic are living in the world. The animals have marine and water source will be utilized. The period, at least the eon, epoch, and to the era. The four differential criteria to be changes to the animals and the animals classification, then animals movable or non-movable, and changes of the up to date we will very clearly observe the geological timescale. First of all, the Paleogene. Paleogenes, the period, the Sensoic era, that period, Miocene, Oligocene, Exocene, Paleogene. These also climatic changes. The land will be reduces, the water will be overall come, and to the particular period, the animals will be very high density. After that Miogenic period, Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous period. That periods, the animals will be the high level and to the mammals of the initiative to that period, Triassic and the Jurassic mammoth level. Then next one, Paleogenic ancient period, ages to be to uniform climate throughout the world, that period. Though the climate uniform and the humidity at the first cooler and later land rose will be spread to the tropical seas. Next one, the Paleozoic. The Paleozoic period, that very clearly algae, fungi, and first land plants and algae dominant very heavy. Then first forest also Devonian period started. First gymnosperm and first live births of the horsetails and ferns also having the period. The diversification of the fishes, that period sharks and living fishes, lung fishes and amphibians, evolution of amphibian, that period to starting. Then Silurian period, that wide expansion of the invertebrate, first insect and rises of the fishes. Then after that, the second great evolution, the around 2000 BC, the cool climate volcanoic expression repeated ganges. You know that Japan and another more Korea, that type of country now itself, affected in the volcanoic season. The first indication of fishes, corals, and triblodes abundant in the diversification of the mollusca in seen on the Paleozoic period and the second revolution. The first revolution for the animals are also the mammals in elephant level. After that, the human also first originated that period. That African country for the first man and woman also originate. That type of man's and woman's the height will be very gigantic figure and the triblotic conditions and to the they have the first period of the fossil period. After that, he will to affected in the human natural will be distracted in the world. All of you know that. Next, we are moving to the evolutionary of animal behavior. Okay, after that, the evolution will be started in the world. First, animals have some features and some defected and the theories. Yeah, during the 15th to 19th centuries development of the science, then a better compensation of the natural was achieved. In the meantime, the study of the animal behavior has also advanced a lot. Yeah, the history of the evolution for the 1859, Charles Darwin published the Origin of Species by means natural selection. For in 1819, Darwin's theory of animals and natural selection prepared the stage to consider animal behavior in an evolutionary light. With this foundation, Conrad Lois, Nikito Tibergen, and Carol von Frenches began to the practice of the ethology. Next, at 1872, Darwin published the expression of emotions in man and animals. Then around next 1873, Spalding conducted research in printing. Then 1898, the white man studied the behavior of pigeons and doves. Then 1898, Trudike reported to the trial and error learning. Then 1904, Paul demonstrated to the continental reflex. Then 1910, Hemiroth studies the behaviors of ducks and geese. Then 1913 to 1937, Kondler studied insect to the learning. 1934, von Kerlach studied the perceptual world of the animal West Hamlet. 1937, Gonard Lawrence had done research on the insect. 1915, French Carmer and Pladak independently discovered compelling evidence for internal clocks in the animals. 1952, Timbergen and his co-workers identified the social relation. Then 1952, Kramer worked on the orientation on the birds. Then 1960, Goodall became the first person to study chimpanzee behavior by living the chimps in the chimpanzee reserve in Tanzania, Africa. Goodall, difficult at the time consuming observations, broke apart the old ideas in animal behavior. 1963, a landmark paper by Nico Timbergen laid out the aims and the methods of ethology. 1966, Reynolds brought about the concept of the breeding system. 1970, a book, The Social Contract, a personal inquiry into the evolutionary sources of the order and disorder, written by the anthropologist Robert Adler, was published. Then 1972, drivers drew attention to fact that sex cells produced by males are much smaller than those produced by females. 1973, Nico Timbergen shared the Nobel Prize in Medicine with Karl von French and Gunnar Lawrence for their contributions to the animal behavior. 1977, Yemen and Orion introduced the concept of mating system. 1989, Collagen reviewed the process of animal motivation. 1994, the process of sexual selection was reviewed by Anderson. 1997, Biontz gave their detailed account of biomimicry. 2001, cloned genes and other influences on complex behavior was reviewed by the Sokolowski. 2003, Emmons and Lipton summarized various gene products and their role in behavior. Yeah, the slide diagrammatic representation of the evolution behavior science. In the first one, the study of evolution and psychological research and medicinal research. They are differentiated and type of the three types for the behavioral science, comparative psychology, and neuropsychology. Yes, the ideas, methods, and the theories established during the last half of the 19th century for the foundation of the today, the experimental approaches to the study of animal behavior. You know that animal, in case you know very well about the you are enter the forest or before, you know little bit of the how to behave the forest, how to you maintain to the silent, how to what are the how to conduct the research, how to conduct the trekking. This type is very important for the forest approaches because animal behavior study is one of the very important. At the same time, you know what are they doing in the forest, inside the forest, the forest types, and what are the base, the geographical location, and the GPS. Everything should be that very clearly. After that, you are entering to the core forest because you are not. In case you are don't have a very little about knowledge, otherwise you don't know the forest ethology, otherwise forest aptitude, the forest changes, the forest type of forest, you know that very well. After that, you entering to the with the permission of the forest authorities after you are entering. Otherwise, at the same times, you know about the what are the types of animals there in the fauna, and in case the animals how to behave in first human itself. In case you cite the animals, in case after at the same time animal will be cite you immediately, what are the reactions or react at the time, how to behave, how to escape the animals, wild animals from the forest in yourself without any mechanism, tools, or nobody uses. You know that wildlife act you very well. No one to use the distract to the wild animals. In case you are conduct the study means you are doing at the time, you will be very clear knowledge about to the wild animals and the type of the forest. So when you are entering the forest means before you clearly collect the data, what type of animals is there, the total animal census. In case you will be going to the anyone reserve park, tiger reserve, or anyone sanctuary, or anyone silent valley, anyone western ghats, anyone eastern ghats, anyone which part you entering, the entering part, you know that how to come back to the route from the roadway. Otherwise, you know very well about the anyone trucker for the forest. The forest you have just move front and back, everything should be that very well. The first you are about clearly search and read about the data for fauna. What are the mammals are there? What are the animals? What are the insects are there? Where is available on the water source? Then animals, the corridor, pathway, everything you know that. After that, you entering the forest first. Okay. So the after the types of animals is there, mammals is there, then insect is there, then the invertebrates is there. So that type of animal, how to you are moving, how to conduct and visible for the research studies. Approximately, that there are millions of insect is there in the fauna. The Brazil is the very big forest after the Amazon. Then the India, that around 30 to the 3 to 4 7% only forest ranges is to be there. But the for fauna very closely observed the particular period, the morning to at your conducting research period at morning 7 to evening 5 o'clock. After evening 5 o'clock, no one enter the forest because the dark will become to the evening period, the sun will be light, so you are easy to not visible the animals, but the animals too easy visible you. So immediately the conflict will be very soon nearby you. So you are very capturing period, very understanding. Then you have a mobile. In case you have a mobile, you go to the silent mode. Then no one talking with the entire the forest. These are basic things, that all of some people are there in the wildlife biologist and researchers. Some otherwise, some people don't know the basic rules and things. Okay. The concept expert, the comparative psychological approach, the comparative psychologist and to have attempt to determine the underlying cause of the behavior for controlling mechanism. Next one, etiological approach. The classical etiologists have been concentrated primarily with the functional significance and the evolution behavior patterns, but have also developed explanation of the mechanism, including drives, innate releasing mechanism, and similar concepts also. Then next one, behavioral science for behavioral ecological and socio-biological approach. The behavioral ecologist and sociobiologist have explored the way in which animal interact with their living in the non-living environments and have applied principles of evolutionary biology to the study of social behavior and organization of in animals. Okay, the first one, the approaches to be first comparative psychology. The comparative psychology, middle of the psychological research, to the study is different animal behavior pattern in order to determine the general principles that explain their actions. Comparative psychology can best be understood to looking the variety of approaches to behavior of the studies to taken over the past centuries, that which eventually the development comparative psychology. Current during the year, comparative psychology has melted into the larger discipline that we have animal behavior or ethology or ethopsychology. Everything should be known. First one, perceptional psychology. That during mid 19th century period where emerged. One second. Were emerged at several distinct approaches for the discovery of mechanism underlying behavior. Researchers who were concentrated with mind-body dichotomy study of the relationship between physical and mental processes. Investigators we are interested in separating the process of the sensation and perception. Sensation means body, perception means mind. They usually involved the objective measurement sensation to the reception of the stimuli through the senses, such as sight to the hearing, and the comparison of this direct measurement of the object interpretation of the sensation. The newly emerging psychophysics is our outgrowth of this early study. The psychophysics, one of the now growing study, the study, the newly emerging, and these type of studies make it clear to you that what an animal makes of the world, both regard sensory system and respect to the animal interpretation of the sensation. You know, the many conflict issues, the elephant conflict issues every day. You know, the paper newses and the forest will be difficult more than problems for the urban and rural area. You know that very well. The electric fences will be surrounding covered with the forest nearby areas. But the elephant, you know, the when the dry wood to take the elephant fence on the wall. After that, the legs and forelimbs and hind limbs on the without touch of the electric fence move to the rural area, enter in the rural area. So animals first ones will be touching for the sensory animals, the border area, the animals will be sensed. In case the animals don't have this is electric fencing, but the animals clearly know that period, the that type of fence will be affected in the body immediately. The neurons and the brain will be immediately developed a new system. Okay, when dry wood we are put the electric fence immediately without any electrification, we are moved to the entering the rural area. The animals will be immediately, the behavior will be changed. Okay, so that is one of the sensation in our the sensation of the animal behavior. Next one, psychological psychology. Modern psychological psychology developed from the early attempt to relate behavior with the internal psychological properties of the events organisms. For example, surgically removed portions of the brain of the pigeons and recording the result changes in the behavior of the bird. 1974 and 1867, the Merle Jean Perry Florence, the scientist, also proved surgically removed the portions of the brains of the pigeon and recorded to the result changes in the behavior of the bird. Next one, the Hermans studied the conditions to the speed of nerve impulse and later psychology of the. One second, please. Sorry. Okay. I'm audible. Alia Mir, I'm audible. Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. I'm doing that. The Helmholtz at 1994, the study was conducted of the speed of nerve impulse and later to the physiology of vision. He simply measured the speed of nerve conduction by the experimenting on the frog motor neuron that triggers muscle contraction. You know that we all are, in case the life science students will be, particularly the zoology students, will be studied about the muscle contraction. You know, in case you first enter the gym for the weightlifting or anyone, the part of the gym first day you are entering, the first day you are continue the exercise for the at least 1 hour. For the first, that the gym instructor also advise with you today you are a small equipments taken, and exercise will be little bit slowly improved, and slowly speed up with the equipments. You don't get immediately to lift the high level of the high kilograms of the weight lifting, because immediately your muscle contraction will be affected, and then your no the field will be affected for more than men's are there. That when you are attending the first time gym, second day you are not move to for the fast walking, because your legs and shoulder, the type of mostly physiologically affected, because the chemical compounds will be the elongated, the actually muscle will be contracted, muscle explanation and the muscle explore for your body first time adapted with the any metal apparatus. You are lifting to around 10 kilo or 20 kilo or 30 kilo, your body will be easy to not adapted in 1 or 2 days. The continuously for 1 or 2 months you are equipped, the gym weightlifting equipped you are taken. After that your body will be supported to the equipment, and continuously you are going to the physical exercise, your body will be supported in your support. But first day, that very well, all of very heavy pain, and you not move to other places, and you some people sir don't want to gym future days, future months, you are leave that the type of practice very hard. But the mind will be, once you are defected, the mind will be decided. In case you are not fit means somebody's I am not going to gym. In case somebody's, yeah, this is one of the first day the passion will be there, but throughout daily we are moving, the weight will be reduced, then your exercise will be continued, the body will be supported you. So if you have the two minded the first second day, when you are okay, we are accepting the pain, the day to day the pain will be reduced. Okay, our physiological we are our body will be fitted. Okay, we are accepting the pain means your mind will be okay, you are going. Otherwise your mind will be you are not fit. This is your not good advice in your brain to be immediately stimulate. You are not running, you are not moving, you are not walking, yeah, the particular peak you are not shouting, because the age factor one of the the theory will be applicable. Otherwise the below 25 27 that type of age group people's easy to accept for the walking, trekking and any one. But the age wise 40 50, that type of persons will be the defense of mind will be yes or no, mind will be defeated. Most of the humans okay we will accept it, somebody's this is not will be accepted. The same thing, the test will be conducted the nerve conduction experiment on the frog motor neuron that triggers muscle contractions. First he stimulated to the nerve at one point near the muscles of the second point of farther away the muscle. The difference amount of the time elapsed between stimulus and muscular contraction, the two measurements in the condition time to the distance between two stimulus point. From this information, he calculated the speed and conditions. Next one, another classical study. The Roker and Sperry and his co-worker surgically manipulated the position of eyes, and he removed the eyes of the node to replace it to that upside down. The treated was observed behave the sight will be upside the move eyes. You know that the right eyes, the operations they will be doing. Most of the doctors, advise with the in case the eye donors also operated. Your eye may be right eye, the donor will be right eye will be donor, After you will be changed maximum 88.5 percentage, your go to the right eye will be set up. In case your eye will be right, left means your vision sometimes defected, your eye will be not supported, because more than 30 years, 35 years, your eye will be easy to visible in right side, because your right eye physiological and mentally you are fixed with the right eye, mostly your eyes to be sighted in right side, path of right side. So this experiment for the psychological impaired. Then next one, functionalism and functionalist. The studies actually explain the mind operate in contrast to the studying how to mind structure. Functionalized the measures of the approaches of the functionalist introduced to the psychologically concept of the adaptive behavior, which is idea prevalent in the biology behavior function of the several animal and its natural habitat. And the early psychologists, although the concept will be adaptive behavior, impelled that the responses to a stimulus changes in the sensory situation in such a way of the original conditions that produced the responses are altered. For pain disappear with a sharp splinter, remove a hand, and the original condition extends to the splinter also changes. Next one, the behaviorism to the check up the principal founder to new approach of the behavioral theory called of the behaviorism. The basics view of the behavioralist is that animal behavior consists of the animal responses, reactions, or adjustments to stimuli or complexes also. Thus, most activities on organisms are products and to the past experience behavior rather than mind become primary focus of the evolutionary study. So, to the controlled behavior based on the knowledge, animal, previous experience, we are mainly objective reported to the subjective feelings or emotions were definitions and acceptable scientific data. You are every day, we are going to, every day we are going to enter on the forest. You just appear in the one of the deer. The deer such first your sight, the deer immediately move to the interior forest. Every day, you know that daily 30 days or 40 days or 3 months or 6 months. So after that, the deer will be sensitized you. You are human or animal. I don't know to the animal to definite or identify you are human or which one animal. The animal also new one appears. Maximum to animal the deer will be visible unto the boar, unto the tiger or panthers. That type of animals visible to the genetically. But when first meet the human means immediately the animal will be distracted for the particularly deer on experiment. After 1 year or 8 months, you will be touched up with the deer. After that, your sound, your smell, easy to identify the deer. In case you know that last 3 4 months before on people is there, the people going and some whistle will be produced immediately. The tigers come down to the roadside. The people give to some food items, bun and other food items. The deer group of deer will be eaten and to move the forest. So the animal to particularly changed in the innate to natural behavior to innate behavior. The forest authorities also to clearly tell about no one wild animal to interact with you, no one wild animal to touch with you, because the animal's native behavior will be changed. That's why no one, the forest officials also, the tourist spot, no one, the monkey, deer, and any animal, you don't put the feed on the any food items. Because you know that the Trivandrum Zoo and the Thrissur Zoo last on 3 years before, the birds have attacked some diseases. Finally, the surgical, the veterinarian actually the postmortem report for after that, some fast food items throw the insect the net to the bird covering area. The birds will be taken the food. After that, 1 or 2 days, the birds will be died because some toxic chemical compound affect in the bird sensory systems. So the juice, you know that the front of the juice and bird carrier and the tiger carrier also, you know that very good dialogue. No one can to food to eat the animals because the animals should be wild. The zoo authorities giving to the relevant to the meat for goat meat or buffalo meat or any beef meat directly for without heated direct fully heated meat. After that, the some deers also giving to the grass type of relevant to the same nutritions to wild foods. No one can to change to the domestic type of the eaten foods, the some type of fruits, some unknown foods don't eaten because the veterinarian to carefully maintain to the nutrition of the wild animals body. Okay, the animal physiology. Animal physiology stimulates us with the development of three viewpoints for the emphasis on the systematic, replicable experiment and comparative anatomy physiology by to the experimenting the cats and puzzles boxes. You know that some experiment is there. The cat boxes, the cat will be, you know that anyone ball, anyone domestic cat, anyone ball or anyone bustles you to give the four limbs you to distract and to throw anyone. But after few or 3 to 4 5 months, the type the cat will be no recover. The is to identify this ball, it is throw or touch, no issues, no problem. Then modern animal physiology is diverse, a mixture of sub-disciplines, both the new and old. The study of comparative psychology is a diverse mixture of the sub-disciplines, both new and new. The study comparative learning to and learning theory is still quite important as the workers betters man and to the example ecological aspect of learning in a variety of species of animals have been investigated by co-workers and such as Camille and to the studied the behavioral study was studied to the development of feeding behavior in reptiles such as gardener snakes and study to the behavioral primitive behavioral development also. The study in defined with the psychological process underlying behavior has also diverse to the several pathways and relationship of hormones and behavior. The neutral correlation of behavior and brain chemistry and psychopharmacology and behavior genetics developed by the effect of the works onto the such as a evolutionary behavioral changes. Okay. Second one, you know that function of evolution for the neurobiology. First one, the comparative psychology. Next, now we are going to the study of function and evolution for neurology. The type, these type growth of etiology, the systematic study of functionology. Then the branch of biology is now a little over a century old. One of the most one of the most important principles is that behavioral traits like anatomical and psychological traits. Once again. Yeah, traits. To the can be studied the evolutionary viewpoint. Some examples is there for some extensive observation of the display pattern, which is the termed instructions various species of the pigeons. There, some animals, for particularly birds and mammals and otherwise lower than animals, have some signals modifications. So the animals will be, the birds will be, in case new one enter the forest, immediately the normal sound immediately change to the sound will be speed and new emerging sound. So other animals will have assure, will have alerted new one entered in the forest. So the animals also immediately alerted. So other than the mammals also immediately move to the just for the tree hunts and tree boats. Then the reptiles also, reptiles that very speed and sensory type of animals, but they don't have ears. You know that the snake and more than 242 species in Tamil Nadu is there. Only the big four animals will be poisonous: the cobra and king cobra, and the viper also very heavy venomous snakes attacked in the animals. But other than snakes are easy to move, but that animals, the snakes should be is very polite animal. You know that the some snake people, they say snake biters, the snake pickers also, you know that the snake, in case anyone surrounding area in your house relevant area, the peoples also came, they immediately easy to handle with the snakes. But the peoples you asking how to handle the snakes means no one jerk or vibrate our body. In case the snakes when vibrate means immediately the animal easy to identify, the animals will be affected, immediately will be put on the hand or any one part, immediately they stick to the teeth. So the sensory is important one of the snakes. Next one, ethogram is an inventory of the behavior of the species. Ethogram has been starting point of many ethological studies. After making observations of an organism's behavior, ethologists then formulated specific questions about the adaptiveness and function of the particular behavioral patterns. A student of the Whiteman is suggested defined two key categories behavior patterns from his work with doves and pigeons. The first category includes the variable actions of animals such as searching behavior to find food, a nest site, or a mate. These are called aptitude behavior. Then the second category includes stereotyped actions that are repeated without variation, such as act of mating, of killing of prey. These are called consumatory behavior. The ethological approaches is utilized in another major area in inquiry determination of the key stimulator with the trigger specific patterns, behavior patterns. The animals perceive only limited portions of the total environment with their sense organ and the central nervous system. The sensory perceptual world was termed undue to the among the stimuli recorded to the sense organ certain specific cues, then ethologists called as sign stimuli trigger. Particularly stereotyped responses called as fixed action pattern. Okay. Example, I tell you, Yeah, enlarged belly of the female, three-spined stickleback fin pieces triggers countersive behavior in male stickleback. Okay. The synthesis of early finding, the further development modern ethology depend heavily upon two ethologists, Coran and Nico Timbergen, to the studied about the behavior developed from the schema proposed recognition of animal behavior as an independent discipline called from the 1973. The Nobel Prize will be Psychology of Medicine was awarded three ethologists. Okay, next one, the behavioral science. The behavioral science and sociobiology to the very important. In past 57 years, third approaches to the study of animals behavior has emerged. The behavioral ethology and sociobiology within origin of zoology examine ways to the animals interact with their environment and the survival value of the behaviors. Behavioral ethologists are concerned with both animals and proximate about the behavior. They were trained preliminary of the zoology and ecology and release field. They are also greatly influenced in the beginning of the first investigation. They have deferred for the population regulation or predator pre-relations to utilizing to the certain aspect of the overall investigation may require experiment more systematic than those that can be done into the field setting. Thus, behavioral ecologists were made to be the specific testable hypothesis into the laboratory finding to what is known about the animal natural field setting. So, the particular attention by the investigators included frogging security to the behavioral ecology, predatory systems, and predation risk. Then social system, everything should be relationship at the ecology. Sociobiology born in 1975 within the publication of Eco Wilson Sociobiology, the new synthesis helping behavior in the nest of birds were studied in the Florida scarabæus, African white-fronted bee-eaters, Akron woodpecker in the western United to the Schrödinger Brackable. In fact, the various theories and the concepts that constitute sociobiology have their roots of the many earlier workers. Among the most significant are the Bringlest Williams natural selection and the concept of the adaptations. The evolutionary aspect, the altruism parental behavior in the genetic theory and underlying the evolutionary social behavior studies to the general heading of social biology. The animals should be changes the behavior to the certain type of the to the influence of seasonal variation, temporal variation, temporal relationship, and to the sexual characters Indian mammals and otherwise the mammal studies should be clearly exploited in the sociobiology study because when the British peoples are entered to the lot of animals tie up or trigger or hunting. The North peoples also the cheetah also continue on to connecting with the pet animal for the hunting in wild areas. Then after 1972, the cheetah and other panther type of animals will be moved, and that the North peoples also using the wild boar also some religious view to attack them. But no one animals to the sensory types and religious view, no one animals to believe that type of nerve impulses. The people, the human will be practiced the animals to move and to the another will be changes. Okay. Okay, next I will go, otherwise stop the class. Are you there?
So you can continue, sir.
Continue. Yeah. Are you there? Okay, good. Okay. Next, we are entering the types of animal behavior. Actually, now we are actually you know that the subject will be very dry. Evolution, the evolution part is very dry because the more than scientists and biologists, what are they told relevant to the animals' behavior and such some theories also there. So that's why I am elaborate with you because the typed notes will be easy to understand because no one to watch the slide. That's why I am relating to the okay. That type.
Sir, maybe you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
give a
Please.
break.
If you want break,
Yes, sir. It's already 1 hour.
okay. Okay, you take 5 minutes or 10 minutes. How much?
5 minutes, sir.
Okay, after
Yep.
6:10 will be started the class. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, just 10 or 15 minutes, I will close the class. Just we are going. The types of animal behavior, innate behavior only will be we are going.
Okay, sir. Then continue, please.
Okay, just 10
Right.
minutes. Okay. Okay. You know the animal behavior can be categorized into two main types. First one innate behavior, second one learned behavior. Innate or inherent behavior or stereotyped behavior is it born in inherent behavior sequence of the activities which is predictable, specific, species specific, genetically controlled and independent of the past experiences. Okay, since in this type of behavior follows a fixed pattern FAB, which is predictable and found in all members of a species, it's also called stereotyped behavior or innate. Okay, what are the characteristics of innate behavior? First one, the pattern of behavior is inherited. It is passed on the from parents up to offspring. Second one, it is unlearned behavior. Third one, it occurs in all the members of a species, hence it is species specific and predictable. Fourth one, it is not dependent on past experience as it is an inborn response to a stimulus. Fifth one, it takes place in individuals even when kept in isolation away from their fellow members. Sixth one, innate behavior has high adaptivity and survival value. Okay, types of innate behavior. First one, taxis. Second one, kinesis. Then third one, reflexes. In fourth one, intensitives. The taxis is the simplest type of innate and stereotype behavior. It is an orientation of animal in response the source of stimulus. In the orientation towards the stimulus, it is called as passive taxis and it is away from that it is known as negative taxis. Taxis are usually named after the stimuli, hence there is phototaxis, then chemotaxis, thermotaxis, then theotaxis, etc. A plant or animal that move towards light source positive phototaxis. You know the plant very well. When they are light sourcing, will be getting the plant of the food actually photosynthesis requirement. The food cycling actually when your light sourcing is there, the leaf will be moved to in your window side. This type of experiment also that prelim seventh, ninth, 10th are the range. Okay, certain burrowing animals. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Can I ask a question here, please?
Yes.
So can you name few animals which shows positive phototaxis?
Which source?
Which shows positive phototaxis?
Uh, Actually, the that the worms. Worms.
Yes, sir.
Earthworms. When the heavy rain, the worms will be immediately move on the under soil at below 8 feet, 10 feet. You know the one second. Dravida species around going to the soil burrowing at 10 feet. But after the rainfall will be very slow. In case the when completed the rainfall, after that the invertebrate earthworm immediately move on the land from the light source. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And also snakes used to be on.
Yeah, the snakes actually no one go easy to burrow because heavy rain easy to move to the wooden park and some source also there. The particularly the worms only will be to move the underlying at 10 feet level in the soil.
No, the phototaxics I'm talking about. Like, so past
Yeah.
two slides. Yeah, that is a snake also does the same behavior.
Yes. Snake also there.
And also I have seen the same behavior towards the corals as well.
No,
Marine animal.
Gogol Krishnan. I want to the clear your voice. I'm not clearly your voice. Please. Gogol Krishnan.
I have seen the same behavior with the marine animals as well, the phototaxics.
Yes, some penguin.
Yeah, corals especially.
Yeah.
Means not bigger mammals like I'm talking about like.
Yeah, you're asking mammals. I tell you penguin.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The time is 6:00. Okay. The class will be continued next class. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.